Welcome to another edition of our monthly roundtable of the news, where I, Mike Anderson, editor-in-chief of Battery Technology, am joined by Maria Guerra, the senior editor of Battery Technology, and our good friend and colleague Charlie Parker, the principal at Ratel Consulting, to look at what were major news items for the battery industry in a given month. And of course, we're covering May here at the beginning of June. So we flipped a coin and I forgot who's going first. I think you are, Charlie.
Charlie. Yeah.
I'm going to go
You
first.
win.
All right. So major news in the battery industry for the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. So we're going with local news today. So my choice for May battery highlights, Massachusetts battery infrastructure. Greentown Labs has received $4.95 million from Massachusetts Clean Energy Center to develop the Greentown Commonwealth Electrons Lab, or GCEL. GCEL will be a shared pilot-grade battery fabrication and testing facility paired with a statewide technical training program and a public digital resource backbone called GRID. The core problem that GCEL addresses is the missing middle in battery commercialization. Massachusetts has world-class universities, startups, and corporate R&D teams, but early-stage battery companies often lack access to pilot-scale fabrication, testing, and process validation infrastructure. Greentown Labs says the gap forces startups to send critical pilot work out of state. This slows commercialization, raises costs, and risks exporting jobs, IP, and supplier spend. There is strong comparison points nationally. In California, the electrochemistry foundry building a shared use pilot line with electrode fabrication, cell assembly, testing, process development, lab space. This is backed by a $28 million California Energy Commission award and is positioned as an open access bridge from lab discovery to industrial reality. In Indiana, the Battery Innovation Center is a more mature public-private battery hub focused on manufacturing support, testing, evaluation, certification, technical consultation, and training. BIC serves more than 400 customers across industry, academia, and defense, and includes capabilities from cells to large format systems. What makes the Greentown project unique is not simply that it is another battery lab. It is the combination of a pilot-grade infrastructure, startup density, workforce development, and public ecosystem coordination in New England. Greentown's Somerville campus is already one of the largest climate tech startup hubs. It is estimated that about 40% of Greentown's members are energy storage companies. The facility concept came directly from member demand, and Greentown intends to design the lab around what battery startups actually need. This matters because Greentown is not starting from scratch as a standalone equipment facility. It is embedding GCEL inside an existing climate tech commercialization ecosystem. Founders, investors, corporates, academics, and state economic development resources are already nearby. The project also adds a technician training site, which is critical because pilot lines are only useful if companies can find people who know how to run battery experiments, operate equipment, and translate lab results into manufacturable processes. Finally, the GRID component makes the project broader than a physical lab. By making Greentown's resources and information database publicly available, the state is trying to create a digital backbone for energy storage innovators across Massachusetts, not just for tenants inside of Greentown. So the big takeaway, Electrochemistry Foundry is California's open access battery scale-up bridge. BIC is Indiana's mature testing and commercialization hub. And now GCEL has the potential to become New England's startup-centered battery commercialization platform. Its importance is strategic. It helps keep battery IP, talent, pilot work, and supply chain development inside of the Commonwealth at exactly the point where startups are most likely to leave the region. So,
excellent. So you did a very good job of explaining why this is more than just a lab. So kudos to them and to you. That being said, do you have a timeline on when the actual lab is going to be finished, or?
Yeah, so because this is going to existing real estate, that makes things a lot easier. And
Right.
existing real estate that doesn't need huge electrical upgrades because it's already set up as such. Um, the equipment requisition, my understanding, is going to start July 1. So we could expect something shortly thereafter. Important to think of this as phase one. 5 million doesn't get you much in the battery industry. So
No.
we know that, but we are very grateful to Massachusetts Clean Energy Center for getting it started. There's a lot of work to be done. So,
Excellent, excellent.
yep.
Okay, so very good. So it's local news with national and perhaps international implications. So that's exciting. So,
Yeah.
all right, we turn over to the other flipper of coins, Maria, and what have you got for us?
Yeah, okay. Today I'm gonna talk about the news that was on most of the news outlets last month about the Ford company, but this time it wasn't about Ford producing any new cars. It was just about Ford um, diversifying their market by joining the BESS market, the battery energy storage system market. They will repurpose the EV battery plant that they have in Glendale, Kentucky for these BESS units. They are collaborating with CATL through a licensing model where CATL provides Ford with IP and technology to produce cells in their plant in Kentucky. Ford is planning to use LFP prismatic cells, which are very commonly used chemistry for BESS systems. The announcement has been very beneficial for Ford, especially in the stock market. We have seen how the stocks have been rising. One of the reasons being the potential for BESS system being used in future data centers. In fact, I think that Ford already announced some collaboration with EDF for some energy storage units for them.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah, very exciting. Yeah, I remember when the electric F-150 came out, and they made a big deal out of the fact that, yeah, you can charge your truck at home, but you can also charge your home or run your home with your truck. And it's like one wonders, if was that the first peek into the idea that, hey, but of course we have to presume that it's the reduction of EV sales that is probably
Yeah,
pushing this. Yeah.
correct.
So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, excellent. Okay, and you mentioned their agreement with CATL to lease technology,
Yeah,
which is what they've done in the past as well, I think. Yeah.
yep,
Um,
correct.
but so that's very exciting, and that brings me over to me, which is my turn, and I wanted to talk about CATL. Right at the very end of May, they gave a presentation at the Equipment Powerhouse Forum on May 30th, and Chief Scientist Wu Kai made a number of announcements that have made the news. The first is that CATL is going to launch some mass-produced sodium-ion battery products, and they're doing it this year. So it's not something that, well, at the end of 2028 or something like people have talked about with solid state battery production, for example. So it's coming right up. They say that Wukai said that the manufacturing bottlenecks have been resolved, according to the Chinese website Sina. So that's very exciting. CATL also recently secured a historic 60 gigawatt hour supply contract for sodium ion batteries. So that is pretty exciting. and that would be enough by itself. But then, as like almost a by the way, Chief Scientist Wu Kai went on to confirm that the company is also identified. They have also identified the lithium-air battery as an item of future development that they're interested in. So the lithium-air battery has long been an exciting prospect that has remained out of reach because the theoretical density of the technology is amazing, similar to that of gasoline. The report I'm looking at says it could get up to 12,000 watt hours per kilogram, where gasoline is slightly better at 13,000 watt hours per kilogram. That's pretty amazing. But the problem is actually making the darn thing. But there have been recent breakthroughs, and I'm quoting Car News China here, and I'll drop the link in there, that they point out that in 2024, the University of Illinois, Chicago, and Argonne National Labs and California State University demonstrated a lithium-air battery capable of over 700 cycles in an air-like environment. And then last year, Argonne and the Illinois Institute of Technology developed a prototype achieving 1,200 watt hours per kilogram with a 1,000 cycle lifespan at room temperature. So it's there, it's getting better. And when a big company like CATL decides that, well, it looks like there's room for us to go in there, and they can throw all sorts of money and resources at it, tends to make you think, this could happen. So the only other point I would make about these two announcements from CATL is we've been getting very excited about solid state batteries, and that is thing we've been watching to see. They're coming into production this year. We're watching with bated breath. Still waiting to hear from you, Donut Lab. But meanwhile, these other technologies, sodium ion and even possibly lithium air, are coming up too. And I thought of one last point. I'm off to the Battery Show Europe next week. Last year, I remember somebody saying regarding Europe and North American battery developers that it makes sense to give up trying to catch up with China on lithium ion technology and instead make sure that we got eggs in the baskets of these other technologies: sodium ion, sulfur, even lithium air, and that way maybe we can leapfrog them. That is the hope of Europe and North America. Well, now you better hurry is all I can say.
No, but that's the thing. The CATL is everywhere. It's like they're every technology, they want to be there, the first ones.
Yep, that's right. And if they're not the first in the lab, then they're certainly the first to make it work. At scale. So. Well, I think that's all we have time for, and thank you both very, very much. And we look forward to seeing all of our readers and viewers same time next month. All right, thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.